These sides met up only 5 weeks ago in a very untidy and wet contest, but with beautiful conditions today at Inverloch. Will Tooradin be able to make a proper challenge this time around? Welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream in the West Gippsland League. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Bailey Allen, ready to call what should hopefully be a much better contest than the one we saw in round 11 down in Tooradin. And my goodness, I hate to say it, but that was an absolute snooze fest, that one. It was a pretty solid game of footy up until maybe about half time, and then once that siren went and that torrential downpour came, it was just some dreadful footy played, really untidy skills, and especially from Tooradin, they were just unable to get the ball into their 50 or score efficiently whatsoever, and even Inverloch had a bit of trouble getting inside 50 once those conditions turned poor as well. But as you see on your screen, blue skies around Inverloch today down at the coast. Always a great time down here when the conditions are good, of course, at Inverloch. So it's still going to be quite windy as always, but it's going to be interesting to see how it goes today. I did mention that in our last stream for these games that Peter Wright was going to be the difference if Tooradin were going to win the game in round 11, and he didn't really step up all that much. But we fast forward to this round 16 clash down here at Inverloch, and Peter Wright is not in the team. He hasn't been in the team for a couple of weeks as Will Lumbie has been taking on most of the ruck duties. So with Lumbie coming in, who hasn't been too bad in the games we've called him, but Clinton McCorn, he is certainly in some pretty good form, and he'll be coming up against Marcus DeSont surely, as well as he is in the side as well today for IK. Lumbie just might have a bit of trouble down there in the ruck, but last time we covered Tooradin, it was of course Brent McCaffer against Coralline in round 14. Jeez, he was an absolute superstar down there at the Cobra Dome 2 weeks ago. Had something like 38 disposals, 16 clearances, kicked the winning goal. He was absolutely red hot that game, and we know that the play, or the game plan that Inverloch Congwack like to use, they like to kick down the line, play a slow brand of footy. They don't really take too much risk through the corridor. But after Brent McCaffer's performance against Coralline, and then last week they beat Curramborough by 131, that might be something they might have to be wary of. Just Tooradin's inside clearance dominance through someone like a Brent McCaffer. As both teams just starting to huddle around now. We'll quickly take you through some of the ins and outs for either side. For Tooradin Dalmore, their ins is Lewis Hill and Blake Gruer, who is coming back for his first game of the year. Played in round 1 against Coralline and hasn't featured in the senior side since. The outs, Charlie Shinners and Cooper Bassett. So certainly some really impactful ins there for Tooradin, especially Lewis Hill, of course, that really lanky, fast sort of player. Kind of reminds me of Nick Blakey almost from Sydney. And then for Inverloch, they've had a fair amount of changes as well. The ins are Xavier Hughes, Joe Samalas, Corey Casey and Jarvis Harvey. And your outs, Harry Butcher, Ethan Park, Jordan Patako and Jordan Thomas. And I'm quite disappointed about Patako being out, because he is a guy I like to watch as well. I think it might have been Patako last week as well against Bunyip, win that 114-point win. When I was checking the stats, I believe Patako had 2 goals in that game. So really stiff to get dropped there. Or maybe it was Ethan Park. I'm pretty sure it was Patako though. So really stiff to get dropped. But that just shows you the quality of this Inverloch side. And of course we haven't covered Inverloch since they took that loss to Narnagoon a fortnight ago. Their very first of the season. So there are officially no undefeated teams left And it's going to be interesting to see the result, not only in this game, but across the league, because you've got Phillip Island playing Coralin today as well. I believe that one is down at the Cobra Dome. Could be at Phillip Island. I'm pretty certain it's at the Cobra Dome, though. And that's going to be a really intriguing clash, that one. That probably would have been our match of the round stream if these two sides didn't have this fixture upcoming in a couple of moments. But it was Coralin. They are playing at the Cobra Dome against Phillip Island today, but Coralin, and they've been certainly in some good form recently and should give Phillip Island a fair challenge. They certainly put Tooradin up to the sword a couple of weeks ago and only lost because of a Brent McCaffer goal in the dying minutes of that game. But nonetheless, all eyes here down at Inverloch, ready for what should be a terrific clash between two very good clubs. Of course, Inverloch really just almost exactly like Tooradin of 2022. It was a similar stage of the year where Tooradin lost their first game. That one was against Phillip Island last year, and then you saw Inverloch a couple of weeks ago, as I mentioned earlier, losing to Nana Goon down at the Goon, which they're notoriously not all, they're notoriously known for not playing at that ground all too well. So just waiting for the bounce to get ready. Beautiful Saturday afternoon here. Hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. And the wind has actually seemed to calm down a bit. When we first arrived here, it was blowing my notes everywhere, but the trees seem to be quite still at the moment. Nonetheless, let's get things underway. Sultan won the ruck contest there, and then his brother picked it up but dropped it straight away. Patoli Simmons was tackled well by Samalis. Now ball's at ground level, and it should be a stoppage here. Will a free kick be paid? It will be. Didn't happen to see what it was for, however. So you're going to kick it across onto the wing. That's Adams. Just taking his time, looking a bit confused who to give it off to. Gives it off to Hill, who's returning in today's game, as I mentioned. And just moving it up down the ground, nice and slowly. McCaffer was a superstar a couple of weeks ago. Patoli Simmons. Inverloch got to start manning up here. They've already had about maybe 4 or 5 uncontested marks in a row. And then a chest mark there for Trent Adams. Doesn't look to be going for the set shot, though. He might be giving it off here after some really slow ball movement inside 50. Ball goes high. Here we might see a bit of speed. Grew up, was pushing it back. Umpire calls play on. And that was really methodical work from Tooradin Dalmore to get inside 50. Well, that's what this team was known for last year. Weren't the most exciting team to watch, but they got the job done. So here's Hill, was trying to break free from his opponent and was pushed over the boundary line. And you're just starting hearing that wind pick up a little bit now. Just a trademark down here at Inverloch on the coast, isn't it? So ship went up, grew up, straight to the ground. Ball just tumbling around at ground level there. Both sides trying to pick it up with eagerness. And you're seeing Cooper Ship actually playing a bit of ruck just moments before as well. Usually it was Lumbie in there. So Patoli Simmons is able to snap it around the body, send it high in the air towards space. Ship came there with 2 fists, ready to punch it out towards a teammate. Couldn't do so. Hughes trying to get a good piece of it and couldn't rip it free. I think it was from Adams, so they'll remain inside 50. Tooradin. They've been able to keep it down here in the opening minutes. Desont got out to a teammate who didn't have much possession in it. It was Dorling, and he's been paid a free kick. Fair enough. So Dorling kicks across the face of goals to Hughes. Gives it off by hand. Finally exiting out of 50. McKenna almost got a piece of it. Hams puts it up. Good kick. Good mark under pressure. Patterson over to Cumming. Back to Patterson. How was the ball movement? Oh no, Patterson's missed it out directly in front. That was really exciting. A really exciting brand of footy they just did. Inverloch, but It was Bailey Patterson in the end who couldn't finish it off. But, my goodness, they got it up the ground with precision and quickness as well. McCaffer couldn't take the overhead contested mark. Nonetheless, they've still got possession. Hill got out to McCaffer. Still got it. Now Hill can go for a bit of a run, but not before the umpire says it went out of play. So after that, Bailey Patterson behind at 0-1-1 to Tooradin's no score. About 4 minutes through this first term of footy. Desant was almost caught holding the ball, got it out in the nick of time. And then Samalas will see it go over. You're just starting to hear that wind pick up now, as I mentioned before. Lengiel couldn't get there. Entering inside 50 for IK. Has that been paid a mark? It has been. Just trying to see who's at the bottom of that pack. Might be, I was going to say Tate Cumming, but it's definitely not. So it's Jarvis Harvey, who is one of the ins in today's match, who's going to back himself in here. And it's about maybe 35 metres out. Not too difficult of an angle. Should get this unless the wind affects it. Harvey walks in and gets it. On debut as well. First goal in senior footy. And you love to see that. So IK strike first. 1-1-7 plays no score for Tooradin. And it's been a strong start for the Sea Eagles. Tooradin, of course, started that quarter off really well. Just through some precise and slow controlled ball movement. But IK added a bit of speed onto the ball. And although it didn't result in a goal for Bailey Patterson, that sequence got them down in the ground. They were able to re-enter inside 50 a couple times before eventually kicking a goal. So good work, IK. So we'll have an immediate stoppage after it was thrown up in the centre circle. Desant, good punch over Lengiel. He's then going to go get his own hit out. Try find Samalas. He's one of the ins today as well. McKenna maybe pushed him over. It was good to work his way through traffic. Batoli Simmons was probably the more suitable option in the end, but didn't get it. And now Turner can get off to Desant, who enters inside 50 for IK. They've got numbers out here at the boundary line, just trying to keep it in play. And that was once again Harvey trying to work a little bit of magic from the boundary, but was unlucky. So thrown back in. Lumbie happy to just use the two hands to get it out. And whistle blind, so we'll have another boundary throw in, and this is looking like it's going to be a pretty long quarter with the amount of stoppages we've had early on these two sides. As I mentioned, they don't take a lot of risk through the middle. McCaffer. Ball just tumbling around there in the forward pocket. Ship almost took a really impressive overhead mark. Scanlon just misread the bounce a little. And then it's finally come out into the wing, only as far as Louis Rankin though, who takes one bounce, juggles a little bit, gives it off. I think that's Hughes with it. Overcooks the kick a little bit. Got it out to Tate short. So no one's really getting clean possession, apart from Hawking there. That was a brilliant handball to short. Can't say the same about the kick though. Hams running through the middle, off to Samalas. This is some nice ball movement. Pryor has gone up the ground, kicked it inside 50. Is that going to roll its way home? No, I think Lumbie got there in time. So rush behind. 1-2-8. Tooradin still yet to score on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And despite the opening 2 minutes, apart from that, Inverloch have just dominated possession. They're winning at the contests. They're working harder in the coalface so far. Sabatucci took a mark under pressure. Goes inside looking for McKenna. The kick was executed poorly though, so it's going to be a turnover. Patterson took him on, try to get the hand out. And a free kick's been paid in the way of Tooradin. So nice recovery there. Batoli Simmons out on the wing. Former Williamstown VFL player, Batoli Simmons. Adams goes to Oxley, getting his first touch of the game. Of course, one of the premier backmen in the comp, Adam Oxley, the former Magpie. That is a great kick to Batoli Simmons, who had Hawking coming for him. Goes off his line, low ball. No mark taken, however, by either side. That's a great smother. Another great smother from Pryor. Brilliant defensive work, should be high. That should have been high, got him well above the shoulder. We had prime view here, and I don't like to adjudicate the game, but that definitely should have been a free kick for IK. Batoli Simmons, however, has been paid the free kick for holding the ball. Has a couple players chasing him, eventually gets it off. And it's going to be punched over the boundary line, and I almost just got my first touch of the day. So thrown back in. McCorn took it straight out. Kicked it over the boundary line. Is gaining a little bit of the ground there. Not sure who Turtle is. That's an interesting nickname, as you probably heard from the IK coaches. McCorn took it out of the ruck once again. Chucked it high into space. Oxley swooped in. Clearing sort of kick. Didn't go really all that far though. Hams just got it out, grew up, running for Butler. And still fairly congested here in the middle of the ground, and umpire ready to throw it back up. So Butler, that was a really high leap there, wasn't it? Patterson struggling to get it out, as was Hams. And we'll have a bit more congestion. So McAfee finally entering back inside. Rankin nearly got a fist to it. Suarez, Batoli Simmons, solid tackle there. So Butler, he's really challenging McCorn there in the ruck, leaping high every single time as Scott falls onto the deck. Ready to get things back underway now, 12 minutes into this first term. Hit out. Found a teammate in Adams of the Trent variety. It's going to go back down to ground though. Tooradin, however, have got it free through Adams. Only for them to turn it over, however. So evaded a couple. Did short before kicking it directly into the middle of the grounds. Didn't really have the numbers out there in the middle of the day though. Now Hill can go on the counter attack. Uses the middle of the ground. Over to Proctor. Doesn't really have anyone leading up to him, so he's just going to have to bomb it inside 50, or maybe go out towards the wing. So now that's Oxley again with it. On the other side of the ground. Goes inside 50 with precision. Trent Adams was almost in the exact same position in the opening minutes. Still doesn't look all that confident in his set shot ability. So he'll send it up towards the goal square. Full forward position. Suarez try to use the body to get it free. Rankin. Dorling cops a bump. Tooradin looking really dangerous here at the minute. A stoppage directly in front of the goals here. Batoli Simmons try to receive the hit out and chuck it on the boot immediately, but it was tackled pretty quickly. So it seems the ideal situation for IK would be to get a rush behind. Adam snaps it around the body. Has that made its way through, or was it touched by short? Umpire's call. It's a goal. Well done, Trent Adams. Was just able to get it over the hand of Short, who tried to argue that he touched it. Goal umpire has called it a goal for Tooradin, however. So 1-8 plays 1-0-6. Tooradin have now got their first major of the day as they're down by 2 points down here at the Nest. So ready to resume play here. Believe it or not, we've only had 15 minutes of play so far. Feels like this game's gone on a lot longer. Desant gave it off to the other Desant. Handball behind his back. Didn't really have any accuracy though, so Oscar just had to punch it out in front. Ball going out onto the wing. Is McCaffrey going to get there in time? No, he's just going to concede and let it go over the boundary. So Patterson, a sloppy kick. Not sure why the mark wasn't taken there, because it's given IK the perfect opportunity to go inside 50. Only goes through for a behind though. 139, 106 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Certainly been an intriguing contest so far. IK were the better side for quite a while there, but Tooradin have been able to turn it back on. It's pretty even Stevens at the moment. So kick up forward. Ship was outnumbered about 1-5. Now here at centre wing on the broadcast side of the ground. Lingiel over the back. Gurard tried to get a piece of it. Instead it was Proctor. Kick goes further down the wing. Ships out the back if they need to use him. But that's a good job there from Hawking, who goes to Rankin. Takes a solid mark, so they're just going to run the switch here. Kick's going to tumble its way across to Scott. Oxley, wonderful defensive work there. And Samalas couldn't get there in time. That being Jamison. Langiel has really held his own against Desant, hasn't he? Marcus Desant, of course, one of the better ruckmen in the West Gippsland competition. Langiel typically doesn't feature in this side consistently if Peter Wright's in the squad, but he's been doing well, and there you go. Once again, turns it over in that case, though. IK looking dangerous here. Just got to have the numbers around. Patterson was free. Instead, Harvey went to ground, and he was caught holding the ball. So Oxley has been superb in this game to start us off. He's been one of the best on ground. Ship, almost a great grab. Lingiel once again going for a bit of a run. Could have been more efficient on the handball. Went straight to Short. Hughes had to really reach out the arm, still had to fight for possession against Gruar as well. So now at the 50-metre arc, Oxley, or rather I think it was Kelly underneath that one. Hams on the ground. It's been paid a free kick. So he's going to go back, play on pretty quickly. Go up the ground towards Desont, who was blocked. He's had a couple inside 50s to his name to start off today. Couldn't finish it off with a goal as Kelly concedes the rush behind there. 1-4-10. Plays 1-0-6 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Almost nearing extra time now. IK up by 4 points. Oxley lent into his kick, found a teammate on the flank. Now Lingiel, who has also been one of the best on for Tooradin so far. Proctor, good mark under pressure against Scott. Hesitant, eventually goes. Kick went straight to Hams though, intended target was Adams. Now Hams can run around and send the ball high inside 50. No mark taken. Tooradin, they're going to have to work hard here. Except they can't. IK try to snap it around the body there. I think that was Will Turner who was going for goal. Oxley was there to save the day and take a clean, uncontested chest mark. So they're looking to run another switch here. Langiel calling for it from Oxley. Ignores that option. Try to look for Proctor. McCorn. Jamison Samalis. Whistle blown. So here's Casey. Kicks it across the face of goals and we'll have a boundary throw in this time on the other side of the ground. Well, no, it was actually called out on the full. So Tooradin now have possession. Going up on a centre wing. Suarez didn't really make an attempt to get to the footy. Now he is though. Going in hard to get it off from short. Proctor. Kicks it forward. Just dribbling along the grounds. We've had plenty of boundary throw-ins today. More than usual, that's for sure, as I suspect we'll probably have maybe around a 27 to 30 minute quarter. It's going to be a lot of time added on, you'd suspect. So Lenders avoided a couple and then went to O'Riordan. Once again took it over the boundary. Ball in the middle of the ground. O'Riordan trying to break from the tackle and get it out. Couldn't. Neither side really have too much of a competitive advantage at the moment. As I mentioned before, it's still very even. So McCaffer's kick was smothered. Ball's loose once again from the congestion. They're just going to move it here. IK going inside 50. Can they find a clean target though? Hams fell over his own feet before being able to pick it up cleanly. So here is Will Hams. Had 4 goals last week. Whistle blown. Going the way of Tooradin. Let's turn that right over to McCorn, who's now been presented with a large opportunity to find a score. Here's Casey. Goes around his body. And that's a goal. So after a bit of a drought for IK, it's Corey Casey who's able to do a clean snap around his body to score the second of the day for IK. I've had a bit of trouble just finding that clean shot on goal. Tooradin have done well in defence. But after a little bit of an extended wait, it was Casey there who just had enough space, was able to snap it around. They're now led by 10, Inverloch+V+Tooradin. 2-4-16 plays 1-0-6 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Tooradin just have to work a little bit harder at the coalface. I've noticed that IK, they've been winning a lot of that contested footy after repeated stoppages. And they haven't really been able to enter inside 50. They've been pretty sloppy by foot as well. So a bit to improve on for Tooradin Dalmore. Batoli Simmons was tackled straight away. Great job from the big fella and Marcus Desant. Batoli Simmons still making a real good effort though to affect Short's kick. Will Hams, a brave mark. He goes inside 50 now. And look at Cumming there. A great lead out into space. Juggled it around a bit before taking the mark. And looks like he'll be going for the set shot here. I was going to say he's got a pretty big run up, but about average. 50 metres out. Cumming releases. Ball on its way, but only for a minor score. 2-5-17 now to 1-0-6. You suspect that Tooradin really need a score going into half time because just I haven't got a lot going for them. Struggling in it to get it into their forward half of the ground. Short's been pretty good so far, affected that contest. They might be out here, Tooradin. Let's go. So takes one bounce, now going inside 50. Hill making a really good run for it, and then leaps out and takes the chest mark there. Now he should go for this, and he will. I think that was procked up with the footy there. It was a really composed sort of kick. Inside 50. It's perfectly placed for Louis Hill. Can't make it count though. Wind affecting it a little bit. Out on the full. So Rankin now. Kicks it to a pack. McCorn couldn't take it cleanly. Ship made a good effort there in the ruck. They're just going to get it out, but they can't beat the siren, Tooradin Dalmore. And it was a pretty slow-paced quarter of footy, but Inverloch+V+Tooradin was able to get those repeat inside 50 entries and gain an 11-point lead at quarter time. 2-5-17 plays 1-0-6 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. We're going to take a quick break as these teams meet up for the first time, and we'll be back shortly.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm going enough. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm going enough. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Wonderland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years.
So back here down at Inverloch, and they put on a pretty good performance in the first quarter. They lead in this contest against the Tooradin+W Seagulls by 11 points, 2-5-17 to 1-0-6. And they certainly dominated possession in that first quarter, and were a lot more cleaner with the footy and had a lot more opportunities going inside 50 as well. It seems like that they were a bit even for the start, but towards the end there, they just started getting a couple more repeat inside 50 entries and scored another goal thanks to the likes of well, not the likes of, but thanks to Jarvis Harvey, I believe. Oh no, it was Corey Casey, my mistake, who kicks that around the body goal, and they just got a bit of momentum over Tooradin Dalmore at the minute. Let's see how they respond. It's a fairly long first term as well. 27 minutes that one went for. So ball just smacked around a couple times in the air, eventually came out onto the wing. McCaffer chasing hard for it, got it out to his teammate in Adams that was behind him. That kick was well off though, out of bounds on the full. So he'll be going back here to IK now. Out on the wing. So Hawking, very accurate kick there, found Will Turner. Incredibly precise, and that's a great effort there from Connor O'Riordan. Would have been the easiest mark McCorn would have ever taken. What a great fist there from O'Riordan. Lengyel, Batoli Simmons, McCaffer now. Taps out by Duff to Batoli Simmons. That was a really good sequence out there on the wing. Ball goes inside 50, hits a car on its way out. And we'll try and get you some scores across the grounds down in the rest of the West Skippy League at the moment. So Coralina are currently beating Phillip Island 31-14. Kilcunda Bass beating Garfield 18-1. Cooey Rupp out in front of Bunyip 38-2. And the other games don't have any score updates just yet. So ball spits out of the congestion. McCaffer, shot on goal. Oh, has that gone over? No, it's been called touched. What did they call it a goal? I saw... Yeah, no, it's a behind. They were all celebrating, thinking that McCaffer had scored it. But the goal umpires seemed to disagree. And now they've got a set up, which they were able to do pretty quickly. Almost the exact same situation as the first goal for Tooradin. It was Trent Adams who was able to just get it over the hand of Tate Short, I believe it was. Now IK with possession. Going to centre wing. McCorn beat out O'Riordan this time around. Looked to get off the handball, and that's 50 metres. O'Riordan went over. He's working hard to get back. So McCorn has a pretty big boot on him. Doesn't want to go for goal though. Lowers the eyes, looking for Hams. Now coming, evades three different Tooradin players. Turns around and only gets it to his opposition in Hill. Oh, good smother there in the pockets. Well done there. I was trying to see who that was actually. McCorn. Ball's loose. Hill, clean hands out to Adams. He couldn't take clean possession, although Samalas trying to get it out from Adams, and once again another stoppage called. Ball was loose, going to go back into congestion. The umpire's called a free kick here for Tooradin. And he's played on straight away, Will Lumbie. He'll be asked to bring that ball back though. So Lumbie, centre half forward, Batoli Simmons. Kicks it across the face for goals to McCaffer, just running a bit of a switch here. Now Hill. Struggling to find anyone opening up. So has to send it out to space. Down the line. Gruar nearly took a really good climb. Ball's just loose here. Butler runs along with it. Kicks it inside. And Scanlon had a lot of space out in front of him. All he had to do was just jog over to where the ball was heading towards. and take the mark. And you'd think that Stewie Scanlon would be able to score this one pretty easily, knowing his talent and ability. Flicks the grass up in the air just to see where the wind's blowing. Walks in Scanlon for the second of the day for Tooradin. Dalmore has done very well on that set shot. Second for Tooradin today. And there's now 2-5-17 to 2-1-13, I believe it is, once we get past the animation here on the scoreboard out here at the grounds. Correct, 2-5-17 to 2-1-13. Inverloch leading by 4 in what is building up to be a pretty good clash in sunny conditions. Leng Yao has been great today, holding the man. It's going to be paid in the way of IK. So Jamison Samalas taking this one in the middle of the grounds. Wanted to give the hands off. Eventually had to go to the 2-on-1 situation. McCorn, brilliant use of the body there. Try to catch his man off guard again with the fake handball. Puts it inside, 50. Doesn't get as easy as that. A perfectly placed kick there from Clinton McCorn. You don't see clean kicks like that too often from the ruckman. Bending back, no. Stuck out to the right there for Jarvis Harvey. Minor score for Tooradin, and they now lead by 5 points. Less than a kick in it. So Oxley, he's got Kelly there if he wants him just in front of us. Instead he's going to go down the line. Marcus Asant came in with a fist. Parlberg, first time calling his name today. Now Duff pushing him up forward to the ground. Rankin there to save the day though. Filled the hole well. Pretty good kick there as well. Found Wyatt. Now Will Hams, who's been good today. He's found himself in a fair amount of contests. Risky kick to short. Was executed to a tee. And then he's called a play on. It's a bit harsh there from the umpire. McCorn. Hill was better. McCaffer now. Adams. Big knock to the head there for Proctor. Seems unfazed by it. Ball once again just going to sit in congestion here, as it has done many a times today. Should have a pretty low scoring one off what we've seen so far. Samaras, Wyatt, sent it inside 50, looking for anyone really. McCorn punched it out to Patterson, who put another high kick up towards, I think I was coming. It was a great defensive job there from Lenders though, but now they've got space to play with. Turner fakes one out, spins around, then kicks it out. Just overthought that a little bit too much, because now Tooradin can go on the counter attack. Just kicked it into space. I think that was Duff there. And we'll have a throw in, but Turner probably should have kicked that one. Had plenty of time after faking out his defender. Been in pretty good form today though, and throughout the season, so can't critique him too much. Batoli Simmons' kick was smothered. Suarez coming through in like a steam train. IK have got it out again here. Patterson misread the bounce. Adams was better. Proctor took another big bump. He's had a couple of those today, especially in this quarter. So now Brown. Wyatt at half back. Risky sort of handball. Pressure from Tooradin was immaculate. And goes over the boundary line. Hawking couldn't get there in time. So Tooradin have certainly looked more dangerous in this quarter. Played a bit more exciting, faster paced footy. McCaffer goes inside 50. Rankin lost it, holding the ball. Tooradin are going to have a set shot here. And that is Trent Adams, who already has one to his name. Can he go for two? The wind might trouble him a little bit. Tree starting to shake a little once more. From about 50 or so out, on its way, he goes to for a minor score. 2-6-18 to 2-2-14. It's back down to a 4-point margin. Inverloch+Konwak in front if you're just joining us. Down here for the Fairhaven Homes match of the round stream, as we're only a couple of weeks away from finals footy. And a potential grand final preview at the moment as well. Came off Samalas' hands. Hams sent it up into space once more. Free kick's going to be paid here to McCorn. Big booming kick inside 50. He's looking for Jarvis. Harvey or Cumming can go for goal. And geez, that was probably not the right choice there. Harvey was really open unless he tried to go to Harvey, and the kick just had no accuracy to it. And it wasn't out of bounds on the full though, so that is a slight win from that for the Sea Eagles. Thrown in, Lumbie did really well in the ruck. Was brought down by McCorn. And the free kick's actually been paid here. To who? Who's receiving it? Hams. Didn't happen to see what the free kick was for. But Will Hams on a pretty tough angle. Might be tough considering the windy conditions that we see so often here at Inverloch. He struck that pretty well though. Will Hams from the boundary has scored his first of the day and put his club up by 10 points midway through the second term. So a great set shot there from Will Hams, the former Bomber. Sees Inverloch increase their lead a little. Stretches out to 10 points now. Unlucky for Tooradin, they've been playing some pretty good footy in this second quarter. Grew up. Kick didn't really have any thought behind it. Went to Archie Turlich. He's got his first possession of the day. Hawking. It's been good by foot. McCorn wants the footy placed out in front of him. Hawking, look at the agility there. The kick just stays in bounds through Lumbie. Goes well off his line there. Good smother from McCorn. Lumbie still has it though. Handball was too inaccurate for Palberg. And then Lumbie's going to kick it out on the full here. Punched back in by a fan, so they don't need to do any chasing up for the Sharon. But he's short. Kick down the line. McCorn was troubled by Lumbie. Oscar DeSont just trying to stay in bounds. Collected it from the boundary line. Goes inside. Oscar DeSont, no. McKenna was just pressuring enough. Turns around his body. Well done. A brilliant score there from Jarvis Harvey. And great teamwork there from Marcus DeSont and Oscar DeSont as well. The effort to keep that ball in play and then send that kick up to his brother. Although he was the intended target, the kick was placed pretty well and was able to get a bit of space away from McKenna and tap it out to Harvey, who now has 2 today, I believe. So Inverloch are just starting to increase their lead a little now. 16 points the margin. McCorn won the hit out. He just feels they've got a bit of momentum behind them now, and they're looking to really pounce on their opportunities. So Hill chasing really hard for it. Ball's going to go towards the boundary line. McKenna tried to scoop it up. Bodies hitting each other. Turner ripped it free. Lost possession of the footy. Hams was tackled into McKenna. And it doesn't get closer than that, does it? The one thing I like about broadcasting here at IK, you get really close to the noise and the sound. Once it's here at this 50-metre arc, Grua didn't strike the ball beautifully with his foot. Went straight to short. Luckily, Ship was able there to crump. Butler, always such a high flyer. Hams looking for Cumming. Escaped him and Lenders. Desant took a big old bump there from Lumbie. Hill, Grua has had a couple possessions early. That kick was much better than his last to Oxley.
Great spot, awesome.
So Oxley goes through into the middle of the grounds. Sabatucci goes inside 50 looking for Scanlon, who has made to work for it. Still has possession of the footy, turns around, kicks a dribbler inside 50. Grua, I thought he had a good look on goal. Probably had a bit more time than he thought. Kicked another minor score for Tooradin. 4-6-30 to 2-4-16 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard, or rather 2-3-15 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And IK up by 15 points as we draw closer to extra time here in this second quarter. Just went over the 17-minute mark. Big climb! Couldn't get 2 hands on it though. Hams looking to add a bit of speed onto the ball. Here is Oscar Desant. Gave it to Harvey. Inside, all alone. Marcus Desant read the bounce a little bit wrong. He can go the unselfish option. Will Turner gives a little bit of a thanks as well before kicking a cheeky goal. That is real entertaining stuff there. Oscar Desant has lit the ground up in the past couple of minutes. Has put a couple great balls inside 50. And he's, in my opinion, he's probably been best on in this second term. Had a great performance. Has a bit of a tendency to fade in and out of games a little bit sometimes, but today he's certainly been consistent. Consistently good as well. Now out to 21 points for Tooradin Zalmore. Really struggled to get past this historically good defence that IK are so well known for. Of course, Tooradin were the best defensive side last year, but IK have taken that up to a whole new level. I think they've only allowed the 300, 400 points from all opposition. And we're in round 16, holding the ball, calls the umpire. Grew up, gets stuck in a hawking, just trying to get the ball free to move inside 50. Here is Suarez. Had to lean down a little bit to get up, but the big fella has taken a good one and can now give his club the opportunity to secure an immediate response. They need it. Have struggled really hard to get the ball in front of the goals today. Suarez is going to miss it all. Another behind for Tooradin. Scoreboard now reading 5-6-36 to 2-4-16. Great intercept there from Johnny Duff. Kicks it inside, and that was a bit wasteful. Samalis picked it off pretty easily. Short, down the ground looking for Cumming. Went overhead. Connor O'Riordan, though, as was always just providing great defensive effort. As the sun has gone behind the clouds, not as pretty as it once was. Getting a bit more cloudy now. Shouldn't have any rain though. Well, hopefully, hope I haven't just cursed us. And the ball should go over the boundary line here at centre wing, and it will. So high contact. Duff gave it away to Hams. Kick put into space. O'Riordan take away that one pretty quickly. Little chip kick to Adams. He'll go on and find the other Adams and Trent. Oxley coming around the side. Ignores it. Just goes straight down the grounds. Inverloch had the numbers there momentarily. And Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West going to be rewarded with another free kick here. And uh-oh. Here comes a little bit of rain. It's not a great sign. Hopefully this can hold off. It should. There isn't too cloudy around here, so they're still looking pretty light, not too great. So kicks it around the body, inside, and another behind there for Tooradin+West. So 5-6-36, 2-5-17 as this little drizzle starts to set in. As I said, those should be just fleeting by. Nothing to be too concerned about, you'd think. McCaffer took it out of congestion. Getting it through a couple hands now. Going towards goal. Has that made the distance? It did. But it was, I think it's Hawking there at the goal line. I think it would have missed anyway. So that was almost out of bounds on the full. Oh, it was in fact. Hill was able to get it to McCaffer. I thought they may have just got a hand to that in the nick of time. So McCaffer patient. Sends the kick inside 50. Ship. He's had a day full of almost, hasn't he? And now directly in the pocket. Suarez tried to take it out of the ruck and kick a major. Adams did much of the same. His kick was smothered though. Now IK can move. So a free kick's being paid at Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West. Coaches here in the box seem to be wanting a little bit of speed added onto it. Kelly brought in the ball. Starting to get a little wet here as well. Maybe I was wrong about the rain just fleeting past. McCaffer. Batoli Simmons got it out. Getting it through hands. Now Tooradin+West. They've just got to finish it off, which they've really struggled with doing all day. And that is the perfect instance right there. So it went out of bounds on the full. So short, sends it down the line. Tooradin win it back again. Oxley via hands to McCaffer. Big booming kick inside 50. Once again, IK stepping up. This time by Rankin. Hawking now. Kicks it down the line on the other side of the ground. He'll use the body. Will he be able to get clean possession? He was able to evade a defender as well and then provide a great kick for Trent Adams. Who once again wants to back himself in. Or perhaps not. He's going to play on. And he tried to look for Palberg. There we go. The rain just starting to ease a little bit off now to mere spitting. Suarez used the hands and that's going to go through for another behind. My goodness, they have been inaccurate in this second quarter. Tooradin Dalmore. Probably could have been a couple points up if they had just been a bit more accurate. 5-6-36 to 2-6-18. 18-point lead for Inverloch. 25 minutes into the second. Short, as always, sends it into congestion down the line. What can Tooradin do with this, though? Samalis behind the head, sort of handball there. Turn it, chasing hard. It was Lumbie, the presence, who pushed him over. Hill out of the middle. Took it. Batoli, Simmons, Proctor. Suarez is pushed up a little forward of the ground now. Back over to Hill, going inside 50. Looking for Liam Adams. Still couldn't get it. Maybe the ball's just become a little bit slippery. IK asking for holding the ball. Calls play on. Ball spills out of the contest. Eventually a ball up now. Here at the flank. McCorn. Batoli, Simmons trying to break free. It was a brilliant tackle from the Inverloch defender there. Hawking running hard. Got past Hill. Casey, socket off the ground. Kelly ready to collect it at ground level. Adams was looking for Lenders, coming. Put in his hand though. Whistle blowing once again. Another really long quarter. 27.5 minutes. Sign would be set to go at any second, you'd think. McCorn goes around his body. Bounces once, bounces twice. Over the boundary line for a stoppage. McCorn has had plenty of the footy today. McKenna didn't read it right. Almost gave away a free kick as well. Now ticking over 28.5 minutes. Tooradin still a decent chance in this. Just have to get a bit more accurate in front of goal. They were a lot better with the percentage of possession in this quarter, especially in the second half of it. Adams now in the middle of the ground, spins past one. Handball went to Scott. Didn't take clean possession of it though. Plays in the deck. Should be a stoppage. It is. So in the middle of the ground, Lengyel. Been pretty good today. McCaffer by hands. Over to Lenders. Kicks it straight into the arms of Dawling, I believe that is. IK now on the wing. Wyatt tried to scoop it away from going out of bounds on the full. Was unsuccessful though. McCaffer has had plenty of the footy here for Tooradin Dalmore. was looking for Suarez. Over the boundary line once more. This one last second goal. Can they do it, Tooradin? It would sure give them a lot of momentum going into the half-time break. Suarez, Hams, kicks it into open space. Ball's going to dribble around. Will Turner running pretty hard to collect it. Was pressured by two different goals though, and was still able to get the ball into a bit more space in his forward half of the ground. But the siren beat them all. 5-6-36 to 2-6-18. Really congested game of footy here we've got on at the minute between the Sea Eagles and the Tooradin Seagulls. Inverloch+V+Tooradin, they're first. Tooradin they're third. Got a big second half coming up. Don't you leave us. We'll quickly go to an ad break and we'll be back shortly.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderkluster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop.
So welcome back to the West Gippsland League Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream. It's been a clash between the Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland Sea Eagles and the Tooradin+West+Gippsland Seagulls today, and at the moment it's 5-6, 36, 2-6, 18 in favour of Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland. Now, what do we want to see from Tooradin going in to this third quarter? I beg for it every week from either Inverloch or Tooradin if they're playing a little bit below what's expected of them, and I want them to take a bit more risk, Tooradin. Go through, use the corridor a bit more, hit them really where it really hurts. We've seen time and time, well maybe not time and time again, but they've been really challenged by those aggressive teams in ball movement in Inverloch. Of course, they lost to Nanargoon only 2 weeks ago by 18 points, who moved the ball really quick. Coralline, sure they got the win by 24 points in that contest, but for the majority of the day, Coralline were really close in that game, and that was at home as well. So Tooradin just need to learn a bit from how these other sides have battled Inverloch and maybe adapt their brand a little bit. Let's see how they perform though in the third quarter. Ball spits out from the middle. Whistle blown, holding the man. And that will be going in the way of Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland. Hawking. Goes to short. Easily evades his opponent. And then a real straight kick to coming. And Lenders is going to give away a free kick here. So Cummings going to kick it back to Dorling. They're going to run a switch here, you'd suspect. Hawking had to run up a little bit to collect the kick. Dorling now back in possession. Uses the middle of the ground. Was a risky kick though. It was a 3-on-1. Now Tooradin can act. Patoli Simmons going inside 50. Looking for Butler. Couldn't take it. Good job Louis Rankin there to affect that. They're not out of the woods just yet though. Here's Liam Adams. Got a bit of space to himself now. On goal. And couldn't make it count. Another behind for Tooradin+West+Gippsland. 27-19. They have now kicked. And one could argue they'd be a bit more of a chance in this game if they had kicked straight. Still plenty of time though. So we've only just begun the third quarter if you're joining us. Hawking. Short. It's going to go through the middle. Great kick to Patterson. Really good option there. So Patterson, he's going to play on. He's going to look for Hams. Hits him in the chest pretty well. Plays on. Goes the Torp. Kicks it inside 50. It's unlucky no teammate could mark it, but they're still looking a good chance here. Here's McCorn. Has McCorn kicked that? Clinton McCorn has kicked it from 50 out on a snap. Harry Mackay, take notes. How about that, Clinton McCorn? Probably the best goal we've had all day. He's kicked it from 50 metres out on a snap. 6-6-42, 2-7-19 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. It's now a 23-point lead in favour of Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland as they have been the far better side in this one today. They need a response early on, Tooradin, almost immediately. Batoli Simmons has been one of the best today for the Seagulls. Puts it up forward looking for Ship. Ball's knocked loose though. Wyatt uses the hands, got it off to a teammate in Hawking. Sends it back inside 50. McKenna provided a fist. Paulberg now has to be composed. Looking for Hill. Used the one-hand tap to bring it into his chest. Was well executed. That kick though wasn't. Lumby. The ball has to be, and it is. And it wasn't Lumby, it was Lengyel. Jeez, I sounded like a fan there. I promise I have no affiliations with Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland. Was not celebrating that, just got a bit over my head. Proctor in the middle. Kicking towards Ship. It's just had a bit of trouble marking those overhead balls today. Throw him back up. MacArthur, Paulberg, fakes him out a little, put it inside 50 for Butler. I would be giving him this. Or is he going to go give it off? He will. Made the incorrect decision as well. Hawking has played a great game in the back half today. O'Riordan got possession back for his side. Here's McKenna. Ball's loose now. Was picked back up by Butler. Puts a ball inside 50. Easy as that for Rankin. A lock for defence and team of the year, you'd think at this point. The vice captain. Well, he's the captain at this point because, of course, Marnie's out at the moment. In fact, he got injured against Tooradin+West+Gippsland in that win in round 11. So Jarvis Pryor. Should run another switch here, it seems. Good kick out to Hawking. Skipped Pryor. And that kick wasn't so great, though. Bit uncharacteristic from Shem Hawking there. So the kick just went a little bit out of the way of Scott. Getting things back underway. Desont punching out into the open ground. Desont, another hit out to his name. Lenders. Didn't see what the call was there for. But it's going with Tooradin Dalmore, and they've paid a 50-metre penalty as well. So this is the first time a big opportunity is presenting, and geez, Oxley probably should be getting down the ground a bit quicker, unless he's going to go for the set shot, which in that case he has every right to do because he's got a really big boot on him. He's going to go off his line, get past Samalis, and that is awfully wasteful. Should have just taken that one, but tried something a little bit too cheeky. Still putting numbers around the ball here, though. Suarez did well to put Cade Brown under a little bit of pressure. So Desont versus Butler. Butler wins this one. Goes to Wyatt, however. Oh, big tackle there on Brown. It's a really well placed tackle there on Brown by Johnny Duff. Butler always standing tall in the ruck despite his height disadvantage. Duff. Ball's just still rattling around there close to the boundary line. Brown's going to be tackled again, caught high. Brown has gone off his line, called a play on, looking for Jamison Samalis. Oxley intercepted. Out to McCaffer. Straight kick to Proctor. They just got to move quickly here. They can't keep putting up into the packs. Hasn't worked all day. Brewer does actually work in this instance. He'll get past Desont and Samalis and then turn it over. This time to Turlich. He'll kick it. Hill made a brilliant challenge. Short now running through the middle of the ground. Kicks it into inside 50 territory. It's well executed there from Dolan to not let a goal through. And coast-to-coast footy really there from Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West. Moved it from one end to the other ground, or the other end, with speed and precision. Hams, it's a little bit of a don't argue to one. Oxley was looking for Adams. Short can rebound inside 50. Desont, there's a pretty big boot on him. We'll go the shorter option in Hams. It's actually going to be given back to Desont here. And I think the call was a 50-metre penalty. So this really hurts Tooradin Dalmore. That's assuming that Desont kicks this, which you'd think he would. So he's maybe about 20 or so out. Pretty small angle. No troubles there for Marcus Desont. Tooradin Dalmore. Just a little bit of shambles at the moment. They're 12-3, and at this current moment in time, they are looking to be in real danger of falling to 12-4. So that just reminds me, let's have a look at the ladder here in the West Gippsland League, because at this stage, I would like to think that, considering their record continues to drop against these good sides, Tooradin Dalmore, they might fall a spot below. And Nana Goon are 4th on 42 points, and they are playing Curramborough today. So they'll climb up to 46 points. So if Tooradin Dalmore lose today, they are only one more loss and a Nana Goon away from falling down to 4th. Which would be really undesirable. Still get a home final though. Against probably Coralin, if they were to finish in 4th position. 29-point lead for the Seagulls, or the Sea Eagles I should say rather. Here's Marcus DeSon again. Puts it up forward. Great work there from McKenna. Looking for Parlberg. Hits him on the chest. Down there at centre wing. It's a risky sort of kick to Grua. Was made to work for it. Didn't get it in the end. Samalis was run down. Short, big punch into space. Coming, running hard for it. Ball should go over the boundary line. No. Tooradin tried to keep it alive. We were a little bit greedy because Turner picked it off and found an easy option in Patterson. It's probably smarter to push it over the boundary line there if you're a Tooradin Dalmore. So Patterson missed one pretty much directly in front in that first quarter. Can look for his first of the day now though. Goes inside, kicks on its way, and it's there. It's now 35 points the difference. Inverloch+V+Tooradin flying once again. Today was a pretty big challenge here for Inverloch+V+Tooradin. They were, of course, they played Bunyip last week and smashed them, but this was their first game back since their first loss against Nana Goon. It was their first game back against a real contender, and they have handled this situation beautifully. As I said before, they are now hung onto a 35-point lead, I should say. I'm not sure if clung's a word, to be honest. But here we go. Whistle blown. Tooradin Dalmore grew up, going inside. Proctor Pryor came in with an imposing fist. Lengyel grew up. He's played a pretty good game in his first game back today. Batoli Simmons' kick was smothered by Shaw accidentally. Should be holding. Grew up, trying to push through. DeSont made a good effort. Lengyel, big punch. Brown just got it out. They're going to call a throw, and I thought that was the right call as well. Good observation there from the umpire. McCaffer. Good kick to Duff. That might be another problem for Tooradin Dalmore. The sun's starting to come down a little bit here, so could get in the eyes of a couple of players when going for goal. And there you go, look at Hawking again. He's been one of the best for IK today. Him and Lewis Rankin have been very, very good down back. And they have stopped really any opportunity Tooradin Dalmore have had. They wanted a block for that. Didn't get it. DeSont, Casey, Hams, lost possession of the footy. Free kick. Going back to Hams. "14 minutes through this third quarter." Is that another 50-metre penalty paid? It is. This time it's going to be Hams taking up the length of the ground. And geez, he's going to back himself in here, Will Hams. From about, you think, 55 metres out. For his second of the day, Will Hams kicks on its way. It's going to fall short. Oh my God, that was nearly a spectacular mark taken by Jarvis Harvey. It's been an excitement machine today. McKenna. Ball was knocked loose by Lockie Scott. Langiel, Brewer. Helicopter sort of ball. Was easy to pick off for Marcus Desant. He'll put a kick of his own up towards full forward coming. Was just a little bit short. Ball still loose and alive. Does that escape through for a goal for Will Turner? Calls a goal. Will Turner has saved it at the last minute. Was meant to go through for a rush behind, but he kept it alive. Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland just extending their lead further and further in this third quarter. It's now out to 41 points. Tooradin+Dalmore's worst loss all year came to Phillip Island by 44 points in round 3, and the way they are travelling at the moment, this loss could well exceed that. The way they are playing at the moment is just not great footy to watch. Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West are absolutely dominating. Hill, sidestep. Oscar Desant said, "Thank you very much, I'll take it from here." Take coming. The ball just slipped through his arms. Congestion building up here in forward 50 for Inverloch. Lumbie, hit out, wasn't advantageous. Hams, great kick. McCawn turns around and scores a minor. Wasn't as good as his last snap around the body from 50 metres out. 9-7, 61, 2-7, 19. It's now 42 points here at the Inverloch Recreation Reserve. Oxley out of fullback. Desant has been brilliant today. Has been Marcus. Patterson just goes for goals. Didn't have all that much accuracy on it. 9-8, 62, 2-7, 19. And you totally workwear scoreboard. 43 points now the difference. Ball's just going to tussle around there on the wing. For being called to ball up. Brewer, Adams. Here we go. Here's a little bit of speed. Palberg is going to cut across the ground, looking for Hill. But Hill instead plays a Shepherd for Oxley, who then uses the option, who open up a little bit in Hill. And down Hill free kick. And you can almost argue that put them at a bit of a disadvantage, because they were running really well through the middle there, Tooradin, and now they've been slowed up again. McCaffer is going to get a high contact free. He's really tried to will his side towards victory today, McCaffer, as he always does in 2022 League B&F. Ball comes back out. Adams looking for anyone. Only went to Jamison. Now Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West adding a bit of speed onto the ball. Turner got the handball from Patterson. This is poetry football right here, ladies and gentlemen. Up until the last kick inside 50. Still in a dangerous position though. Lumbie. Adams, Batoli, Simmons in the middle of the grounds. Rebounded inside 50 entry. Picked off by Oxley. Cut across. Shipping O'Riordan didn't speak well enough. Cumming was held on to a little bit. And they're going to call holding the ball instead. It's probably the right call as well. So O'Riordan goes across the arc, finds Adams. Now using a bit of the grounds in the middle. McCaffer has to really run for it to beat Wyatt. He did. Handball over the hill. McCaffer, they've been the two best goals today. Entering inside 50, Scanlon 2-on-1, but now Gruer's got a bit to work for. Can Parlberg get there in time? No, he can't. Congestion building up, ball's loose. Butler chips it. And I think that's Batoli Simmons with it. It is. And if there is any chance of a comeback for Tooradin Dalmore, as we've just gone over the 21-minute mark in the third quarter, it starts right here. Hayden Batoli Simmons, can he get his side into a little bit of a groove? It's not going to have the legs. And Scanlon tried climbing over the pack. Ball goes over everyone, in fact. And goes through for a behind. So now just on the flank. It's inside Hams, Wyatt, Patterson. He's got to run for it. He's got a goal chasing hard after him. It was Johnny Duff. Great effort to affect that kick. In the end, though, still got it well into their forward half of the grounds and over the boundary line. So Proctor, rush dribbling kick. Sabatucci is happy to concede. (9:8:62 to 8:20). If you're just joining us, 42 points the difference. A contest where Tooradin Dalmore have looked pretty lackluster. Holding the ball. Tooradin presented with yet again another opportunity to take a bit of dare, bit of risk, move the ball with speed and precision. McKenna. You can probably hear it through my mic there. Just, I think the coaching staff are calling Xavier Hughes the big prime train. If you don't know who Prime Train is, you're probably living under a rock. He's got a fair amount of likeness to him as well. And there you go, Desant climbed over Adams. Gave him a good fist. He really does look like Prime Train, doesn't he? Xavier Hughes, number 24. Desant got a bit of a hold, escaped it, however. Put it up forward. Plenty of goals to help out here. Patterson found himself on a twirl. A couple of Tooradin defenders. So back on the 50, Samalis going inside 50. Bailey Patterson making a good challenge. His snap just goes high into the air and through for a behind. Now 9.963 to 2.820, and we've been talking about Tooradin Dalmore's inefficiency in front of goals, but who knows how big the margin could have been for Inverloch+V+Tooradin if they'd kicked a couple more, but no, hasn't been too much to fault with their performance. It's been better than Tooradin Dalmore all day. Tick over 25.5 minutes now. Jeez, that's a great mark there from Lenders. Fell back into the deck. Grabbed it with two hands. Well done. Rankin versus Scanlon. Rankin won that one. Ball still loose. Palberg pushed over. Lingyel. McCaffer. Adams on the right. That's an easy intercept for Tate Short. He'll go in the middle of the ground. Find Dorling. Now Casey going inside. Hams! Rebound off his hands and then controlled it as he fell down. Had a set shot similar to this position on the in the second quarter. Almost the exact same sort of shot as we draw closer to three-quarter time from 52 metres out and won't have the distance out on the full. So Lenders down the line. Hill almost. It's been a couple almost speckies today. There's someone still on the ground here. You'd suspect it would be Hill. He's holding his head. Yeah, that is Louis Hill. Definitely came off second best in that one. It was really courageous and a brilliant effort to go up for such a good mark as well. They haven't had a good day today, Tooradin Dalmore, but he has been one of the few light beams, or the shining lights I should say, in what has been a pretty dull performance. O'Riordan out into the middle of the ground. Great mark under pressure there in the middle of the ground for the goals. Plays on, kicks it onto the wing. This is Oxley. Who's Oxley going to go to? It's going to be Dolan. This is where they're held up every single time. Look at this IK zone. Just the imposing wall. And there's a good mark from Sabatucci, but boundary line is going to put an end to play. So 43 points now separating these two clubs. Inverloch+V+Tooradin have not been in superb form today, but have played just well enough to make sure this job gets done. You'd suspect they probably won't lose it from here unless we can see some final quarter magic from Brett McCaffer and He Seagulls. We'll take one last break for three-quarter time. We'll be back shortly.
Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down.
So ready to call the finish to this game between Inverloch+V+Tooradin and Tooradin+Dalmore. I would love to tell you that it's been an entertaining and pacey contest, but probably not the right words to describe this one. Inverloch+V+Tooradin took complete control in that third quarter, and Tooradin+Dalmore are there to try come back and win this. My goodness, they've got their work cut out for them. It'd be hard to imagine they can come back and win this one. So let's quickly take you through some of your scores across the other leagues, or across the league and the AFL. Essendon are beating West Coast by 17 points. As an Essendon fan, that leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, probably not going to make finals now. The Dons, Adelaide, are currently beating Gold Coast by 25 points. And as for the West Gippy League, Coralina beating Phillip Island by 30 points at home. Geez, that's a big scalp there for the Cobras. Garfield versus Kilcunda Bass. Kilcunda Bass are up by 20 points in that one. Kui Rupp up by 99 against Bunyip. And then Nanagoon and Dalston versus Warrigal Industrials have no score updates at this minute. But back here, down here at Inverloch, the cold is just starting to set in a little bit. I think everyone's certainly a little bit colder than they originally were when this game originally started. There you go, you just heard the Kathmandu jacket get zipped up. Duff decided to let Liam Adams go for it, but in doing so, he's allowed Desant to get possession. Will Turner just keeps it alive. Copped a tackle, was a bit of a sling as well. And they've called that very late, but they have paid it. Jeez, he's paid that from the forward 50. That's brave in doing so, but he made the right decision, so who cares? Turner goes inside, coming, almost grabbed it free. McCawn was trying something a bit tricky, could have been holding the ball. So it'll be Langyel versus McCorn in the ruck. It's been pretty even in the ruck battles today, but obviously McCorn's probably got the better just because he's got a bit more hit outs to advantage. Lenders goes Duff. Rankin put in the hand to effect and spoiled the mark. Samalis looks a little bit dazed. Just has to give a couple shakes of the head. I think he should be right. Desont. Samalis going inside. Suarez is pushed back of the ball. Impressive intercept. Decides to switch across the other side of the ground. Palberg finds McCaffer, who was wide open. He'll cut inside to Dolan. Using the middle of the ground. Accurate kick for Scanlon. The defense was pretty good though, holding the ball as well. So a great follow-up from Stewie Scanlon. And then he'll do a little bit of a chip kick over to Christopher Sabatucci. And they have not kicked a goal since the second quarter, I believe. Tooradin. I don't think they kicked a single goal in that third quarter. In fact, I think they only scored 1 point. You'd have to double check me on that though. Sabatucci goes in. Decent looking set shot as well. But IK had plenty of numbers down there at the line. Pryor was pressured a little bit too much. Oxley kept it alive. Not for long. So thrown back in. Tooradin Dalmore must need, they just need a couple of goals. Just for pride, really. Hams kicks it out onto the wing. Got a good bounce from McCorn. that is one of the poorer kicks we've seen today. Oh, he's going to be paid a free kick. Is he? Oh, he's going to be paid a free kick. What was that for? He was maybe coughed a bit of a bump, but it wasn't very long after he'd kicked it. Jeez, I thought that was very stiff on railing. Yeah, nonetheless. McCorn. There's Kelly, the skipper. Played on. Went well off his line. Hill. Batoli Simmons has to run. Great chase from Lockie Scott. Lumbie. Goes Adams. Palberg. This is much better ball movement here from the Gulls. Much better. That was superb. Now going inside. Just got to put on the finishing touches here. Sabatucci trying to get two hands on the footy. And there you go. Xavier Hughes, otherwise known as Prime Train. We'll kick it over for a behind. It's not actually Prime Train, by the way. Just in case you didn't know that. Short will just put a big boot down the line to Sant coming in with a fist. Socket off the ground by a Sea Eagle coming. Got first possession of the footy. The free kick's going to be paid to him as well. It may have just been on the back on Kelly. Going to cut inside. Nearing the middle of the ground to Samalis, the Andrew variety. He's coming now. Evaded one and went back to Samalis. Now Short, who's pushed up the ground a little bit. Kick didn't look too bad. Gulls were just able to get the hands on it first. Essendon, they got up to a 17-point lead. Now back down to 11. West Coast kicking a goal there. Samalis goes inside and it's picked off cleanly by, I think that's Dolan. O'Riordan was unfazed. It's going to go to Lenders here. Dug into that kick a little bit. Stalling. And I think the kick, what was that for? It may have been downfield, didn't see that. And whistle blown here. So what's the call here? So umpire's discussing what's going on here. Hey, so it's been called a 15-metre penalty. Or has it been called for Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland? No, we'll be going back to the Sea Eagles. McCorn to take it. So McCorn's going to go for the set shot himself here. From 50 metres out. No real angle. He's going to go off his line a little bit to get a bit of extra distance. To Sant at the goal line, couldn't. Hams hit the deck, high contact. And all lenders, and they're going to get an umpire dissent 50-metre penalty as well. So Hams could have missed that on the angle. Certainly won't miss this directly in front after the complaining from lenders and Dolan. And if there was any lingering doubt that a loss was coming for Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland, surely that kick there puts a pin in any of those sort of thoughts. (10-9, 69 plays 2-9, 21. This contest has unfortunately been done for quite some time now. McCaffer through the middle. Turnover. Ball's just going to get caught up in the congestion here. Smothered by his own teammate in Brewer. Umpire calls for the footy back. So McCorn, kick was smothered. So let's have a look at the upcoming fixtures for Tooradin, because this loss hurts them quite a little bit, you'd suspect. But the next 2 weeks, they should be able to get a bit of confidence back. They've got Garfield and Kilcunda Bass, 2 wins you'd suspect would come, as Suarez at the flank intercepts well. And then Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland have Currambara and then Phillip Islands, which at home as well, which could very well be an actual grand final preview and could very well be one of the games of the year, as Hill took the contested mark inside 50 for Tooradin+West+Gippsland, and then he'll back himself in for the set shot as well. But geez, I would suspect we would be covering that game. Inverloch, Phillip Islands. That is going to be a really interesting clash, that one. Hill, can you make the scoreline look a little bit better? He certainly can. Tooradin boys looking a little bit flat, but geez, that just kind of puts a cherry on top for Lewis's Hill's performance today. Him and McCaffer have been maybe Patoli Simmons as well, have probably been the only 2 players for Tooradin that have put in the consistent effort and the good performances as well today. But unfortunately, you need more than 3 players to win a game of footy. That is what has happened to the Tooradin Footy Club today. Just haven't had those performances from the other guys. So McKenna's in the ruck. Jeez, you don't see that very often. Won himself a hit out as well. Well done. Brewer going inside. Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland have the numbers out here, but McCaffer has won the contested possession. Adams goes back out to Brewer. Evades one tackle, got past Samalas, still going for a little bit of a run here. Call his play on, ball comes outside of offensive 50 for Tooradin+West+Gippsland. McCaffer, big handball to Dolan, who's had a couple possessions in the second half. Found Patoli Simmons. Kicks it across the face of goals, and that is a brilliant kick there from Patoli Simmons. and found his teammate in Cooper Ship as well, who's probably struggled with his marking today, but had no trouble with that one. Back-to-back goals for the Gulls. No. Cooper Ship directly out in front. It was about 40 metres out. Missed that one. 10-9, 69, plays 3, 10, 28. Inverloch Kongwak looking to win this one comfortably at this stage. Essendon now only lead by 7 points. Just keeping a close eye on that game. It's out of bounds on the full. Yeah, as for the Bombers, even if they do get the win there, that is not enough of a percentage boost. I'd probably consider them out of the finals at this point. As you just see, Andrew Samalis there is coming off with a blood rule. I think he maybe just got a little bit of his lip. McCaffer took his time making the decision. Stabbing sort of kicked to Dolan. Kicks it across the face of goals to Kelly. Goes through the middle of the ground. Inaccurate kick. Turnover. Patterson. Now Rankin. Just going to concede a little bit of ground here. And then go a risky kick to Hughes. Now Pryor. Just moving the ball really slow here, Inverloch. Now Brown. He's got someone next to him if he wants. In short, his kick was smothered, so play on. Samalis has to get rid of it quick. Goes Turner, had Patterson there for him. Instead he'll go inside 50, looking for anyone. Oh geez, Harvey nearly had a really good piece of it. Directly in front of goal. That's going to dribble through. How has McCorn escaped with that? Clinton McCorn has now got 2 goals to go along with his plenty of hit-outs. And he's got to be in the vote consideration now as he dribbled that one home. Oh, Essendon are now off by 1 point in the AFL. As for the Crows and Adelaide game, they're up by 16. Kilcunda, Bass and Garfield, that's turned into a really interesting contest. It's 5 points. Killy Bass lead that one by. So McCaffer, then McKenna, shoved his opponent to the ground. Going inside 50, intercepted there by Hawken. Hawking has been great today, as is this man in Rankin. Wyatt. Just over 14 and a half minutes. Sabatucci. Inside. Going to go off his line. Go for goals. It's got the distance on it as well. Great kick. All clear, and that's going to be a goal. It's unfortunate to not see who that was. I think it may have been Trent Adams. But it's a great, it was Johnny Duff actually. It's a great kick from 50 metres out. 11-9, 75, 4-10, 34 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. $41 points the difference after maybe Inverloch have just let the foot off the gas a little bit in a defensive set, in a defensive sense. Been able to find it a bit easier to go towards goal, Tyrone Dalmore, in this fourth quarter. Ham socketed off the ground. Turner dropped it. Hams fought Lenders for it and won the battle. Descent. Out to Scott. Struggled to pick it up efficiently. Kelly's going to fall on top of it. Umpire calls my ball. Descent, punch out, McCaffer, O'Riordan. Over the top, only went to Scott, his opposition. Casey was caught. Scanlon. Short kick over to Ship. Now Brewer going for home. Inside 50 now. Oxley should put the finishing touch on it, and he certainly does. Tooradin+West+'s 5th of the day, and their 3rd of the quarter. It's now 35 points. Maybe, just maybe, we're starting to smell a bit of a momentum switch here. It's probably far too late at this stage though. Nearly 17 minutes through this quarter. Garfield have now hit the front in the West Gippy League. They're up by 2 points. As for the AFL, West Coast have taken the lead over Essendon by 5 points. Who would have thought that coming into this game? So Lumbie just pushed Desson out of the way. Should go out in the full here, and it does. Inverloch to get it back. Hawking. Sun glaring in his eyes. Essendon now led by a point with a minute left of footy to play. My goodness. Here's Scott. Scott. Stab kick. It's a Pryor. Pryor's now going to go down the line. Hughes. Oscar Descent. The sun's setting of what has been a pretty good performance. Cunning can go for Patterson. McCaffrey was taller though. Ball escaped Oxley. Didn't for his other teammate in Ship though. Dolan, like a big steamroller. Tried to knock his opponent over. Didn't have much success though. Short. It's been superb in defence today. Pryor. Rankin. Handballs across. Looking for McCaffrey. Well, got to McCaffrey rather. Definitely wasn't looking for him. Trying to sock it off the ground is Duff. And Turner. Deliberate out of bounds. Have I ever seen that? I don't think I've ever seen deliberate out of bounds called here at the West Gippsland League. Is that? I didn't even realise that was a rule. It's never ever been used here in the West Gippsland League. So maybe it's been a rule interpretation or a change of interpretation as such. I've never seen that. So ball going forward now for IK. Here's Turner. Was left all alone. And then he's going to kick it across. Find the uncontested Patterson as well. Full time at Marvel Stadium. Essendon have won by a point. Thank goodness. Oh my God. Essendon fans like myself rejoice. No, we'll make sure to get a score update for Garfield and Killy Bass as well soon. That has turned out to be a terrific contest. Patterson on its way, and it's there. Patterson's got, I believe he's second of the day. It's now back out to 41 points for Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland. Killy Bass have got the lead back over Garfield. 67 plays 63 in that game. So now in extra time in this game. So just getting it through hands. Casey in the middle of the grounds. Scott goes to Hams. Pressure from all sides of the ground. From Tooradin coming. McCorn. Samalis. This is brilliant movement by hand, and then Turner knocked into an opponent there. Disappointing end to that, but geez, that was very good. And geez, you just hear the Inverloch crowd getting into, I think Ray Ling yelled there. I'm not sure what he said. Couldn't have been anything too good though. Patoli Simmons was tackled. And then we've got a bit of a brawl right in front of us as well. Check out everyone getting into each other. He's got courtside tickets. Turner lenders. And then you see Patoli Simmons getting involved with Jamison Samalis. How good was that? Hawking. I've got to start. So I'm just some of the sledges I'm hearing at the moment are just outrageous. I'm left at a shock. I'm left just at a shock for words at the moment. But here we go, moving down the ground. Tooradin Dalmore going for goal, and that one snuck home through as well. Back down to 35. This quarter's just been a bit more entertaining from an offensive aspect. But that was great. Did you get that Harry on camera? Just right in front of us. Ringside tickets to Tooradin Dalmore versus Inverloch Ongwak. I really enjoyed that one. Jeez, can you imagine we had Cora Lynn down here and Ryan Gillis? That would have been mental. Would have loved that. I probably shouldn't be condoning that on air, but oh well. 35 points, 23, nearly 24 minutes into the final quarter. Should be a bit longer of one as well, considering the amount of goals we've had kicked. McCaffer, Patoli Simmons, Scott. Here's to Son. Handball was executed well to Turner. Now Scott again. Hams, Turner, going inside 50, looking for Cumming. And Suarez, he's had a really good last term down in there in defence with a switched up sort of role. McCaffer beat out Brown. Patoli Simmons now moving down through the wing. His teammate bet out short. They're throwing back in to Son. That was a really strong hit out, wasn't it? Patoli Simmons straight to the deck. So it's going to be a block. Should be going to Son. I mean, it is. $12.9, 81 to 6:10:46 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Is coming. Gets it to go over the boundary line. The final siren should set to go at any minute now. Throwing back in from the boundary. Ball goes over the head of McKenna. smacked up into the air. Batoli Simmons, he's been one of Tooradin Dalmore's best. Almost intercepted there by Short. Ball still alive and in play here. All right, next. For the face of goals, this stoppage is. Ball remains loose. So that one's going to be deemed out on the full. Ham's is going to go and collect the ball there. So just going to remain here in Tooradin Dalmore's 50. The play's really just starting to die down here. This is eerily similar to the fourth quarter of the last matchup between these teams, where just all sting was taken out of the game. Of course, a lot better conditions than it was last time. So going to be a throwing free kick in the way of Tooradin Dalmore, unless they've paid advantage here. Or is it being called a goal? They've paid advantage. The goal was kicked. So back into the middle of the ground now. Tooradin Dalmore just got a couple of consolation goals to go their way. Perhaps make the percentage look a little bit better. 29 points. IK, of course, have slipped a little bit in this fourth quarter, but other than that third quarter, they were just so dominant. They've looked pretty lackluster up until this last term, Tooradin Dalmore, where the goals have really only come from Inverloch+V+Tooradin, pressing their foot a little bit less on the accelerator. So kick forward by Reardon. Someone has seemed to cop a heavy knock there to the head, and I think that was Oxley. He seems to be fine though. So ball's just going to go back into congestion. Stoppage should be called. Eventually is. And then a mark's going to be taken at the flank here for Adam Oxley. And he could very well kick this. He's got the leg in him here. Wants to move it along quickly. This is actually the longest quarter we've had all day today. Kicks on its way. Oh, it's just hit the post. So 28 points now separating these two teams. As Inverloch+V+Tooradin continue their search for a premiership. So there goes your siren. 30-minute fourth quarter. And a haul of goals there from Tooradin Dalmore. 5 goals they kicked in that final quarter. Meant all but nothing really, because they've done a wonderful job, Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West+Gippsland, especially in those first 3 quarters, and they got a really strong win against Tooradin+Dalmore as their shades of 2022 just seem to fade each week against the top sides in the competition. So we're going to take a quick break, just one last break, and then we'll go into the post-game show.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland, whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing.
So we're back here at the Inverloch Recreation Reserve here with skipper Toby Marnie, who's unfortunately been injured for about 5 weeks. In fact, he went down in that last win against Tooradin+Dalmore, but from an Inverloch+V+Tooradin+West perspective, it's great to get the chockies once again against Tooradin+Dalmore rather, and who are contending for a premiership. And you went down about a fortnight ago against Nanagoon, and I mentioned on air that it may have been just a little bit of nerves coming against a top side once again. Was there any nervousness around facing Tooradin+Dalmore after coming off that loss against Nanagoon, who in flying form?
I think there always is after coming off a loss, especially that was our first loss of the year.
Yep.
And we did play, we did look fairly flat that game. Last week probably wasn't that dissimilar when we played Bunyip. I think at 3/4 time it was probably 50 points.
Yep.
So in the last quarter we ran away with it there, and that's probably set us up for this week. Coming in, we knew that Tooradin are a great club coming off a premiership last year, and it would be tough today. So it was really refreshing to see, I suppose, the pressure that we brought and the heat we brought was back to the style of footy we want to play, which was nice, especially after 2 flatter weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I noticed there that maybe in the 4th quarter you let the gas off a little bit towards the ends, but in those first 3 quarters it was a great performance. Personally, my best on ground was Marcus Descent, who was in the ruck for most of that game, but his ability to just impact around the ground. Does his X-factor sort of presence get the team up and about?
Definitely. He's one that really drives us from those centre bounces. His tap work's some of the best in the comp. that's for sure, and giving our midfielders first use is so important. He's also unbelievable with the height he is, the way he can read the play and win the balls in the air, but also on the ground. He's just as clean. So, when you have Marcus in the ruck and Oscar in the midfield, it's a pretty good combination between those brothers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate his ability to push forward to the ground. And we saw it a couple of times there in this game today. In fact, he got a goal assist. I think it may have been, I want to say Jarvis Harvey. And his forward craft is also something really to admire. One last question. When can we suspect to see you back from your hamstring, mate?
All's progressing pretty well. I ran for the first time this weekend.
Oh, that's great.
So last round is still a little bit hopeful. But yeah, now that we've kind of got that, first or second spot pretty much sewn up, I think we can't miss those two top spots. I won't be taking any risks. So most likely that first final I'll come in, but the likelihood of I'd probably be right to go round 18, but won't be taking any risks.
Well, it's a big fixture against Phillip Islands, but as you said, you've probably got first or second locked up by now, but you're in scintillating form before you went down with that injury, so it was really disappointing to see you go down. But hopefully you're back for finals, and we'll be able to see you perform your best footy. Thanks for joining us, Toby. Cheesy. So that has done us all for the Inverloch+V+Tooradin versus Tooradin+Dalmore game. I've been your play-by-play commentator, Bailey Allen, and although they let the gas go a little bit there in that final quarter, Inverloch+V+Tooradin, those first three quarters, what a brilliant performance. They have just been superb all year, this Inverloch+V+Tooradin side. And apart from that small little blip with Nana Goon, they are not looking to slow down at all. As I said before, I've been your play-by-play commentator, Bailey Allen. It was Inverloch+V+Tooradin winning 12-9-81 to Tooradin+Dalmore's 7-11-53.